Tonight, federal government realizes 1.8 billion naira from sale of forfeited assets. Ukraine to establish green hubs in Nigeria. Osun State government to provide good business environment for individuals and industries. Zimbabwe's government's legislation threatens health workers. Good evening. Welcome to the major report. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malamiya, said that the federal government has realized 1.8 billion naira from sale of forfeited assets. Malamiya gave the breakdown in a presentation at the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration scorecard in Abuja. Said the government has defended international cases to avoid liabilities running into billions of US dollars. He said the $641 million recovered loot from the late military dictator, General Sani Abacha, has been used for social investment and development of critical infrastructure, as $390 million out of the $641 million was spent on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, the second Niger Bridge, and Abuja-Kano Highway. The Minister of Justice explained that in line with the cardinal principle of the present administration in the fight against corruption, billions of naira have been generated from forfeited properties, noting that 3,000 cases were profiled, 1,500 prosecuted, and 397 convicted. The federal government has said the universal basic education will do everything humanly possible to strengthen early childhood education in Nigeria, especially in the states. In a statement to herald the flag off of the national sensitization campaign of out-of-school children across the country, the Minister of State for Education, Nana Opia, highlighted some of the factors that deny children access to early education, saying the federal government is doing everything possible to assist states on the issue of early childhood education. The minister said the sensitization is designed to ensure massive enrollment of children in basic and primary schools and should be taken seriously by all stakeholders, and that it is a moral and legal obligation, the discharge of which will guarantee the future of the children and by necessary implication, the nation. The minister said no parent in all the state has any excuse to keep their child out of school anymore. Works and Housing Minister Babatunde Fashola has said the construction of Loko Oweto Bridge and the second Niger Bridge demonstrate the commitment of the Muhammadu Buhari's administration to infrastructure development. Fashola, who spoke during the inspection of the completed Loko Oweto Bridge and the linking road in Section 1 and 2 in Nasarawa State, which is described as another intervention of federal government under President Muhammadu Buhari in infrastructure development. The minister said there has been a lot of emotion and excitement about the second Niger Bridge, adding that some people forget that it crosses River Niger and it is an east-west road linking the southeast to southwest. He said the Buhari administration has built two major bridges across the two major rivers in the country, connecting people, connecting the country, and facilitating trade. Despite the ongoing war with Russia, the Ukrainian government has expressed its readiness to establish green hubs in Nigeria and other African countries to boost bilateral ties. This was made known when Ukrainian Minister of Agrarian Policy and Food, Mykola Solsky, led a delegation to the Nigerian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Godfrey Yama, and the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mohammed Abubakar, in Abuja. Yama lauded Ukraine for the grain donation, adding that the gesture was coming even when the country is still at war. He noted that the situation in which Ukraine finds itself is still able to reach out a hand of friendship, not just to Nigeria, but to other African countries, which he says demonstrates superhuman courage and generosity. The minister, however, lamented that some of the victims of the war in Ukraine are a larger number of Nigerian students whose studies have been interrupted by the war. While speaking, Ukrainian Minister of Agrarian Policy and Food, Mykola Sotki, said the Ukrainian government is ready to pay a lot of attention to matters of agriculture and food security. Osho State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has expressed his administration's readiness to provide good business environment for individuals, industry, and corporate offices willing to invest in the state. Governor Adeleke made this known at the commissioning of Oshobo Central Hospital situated at Okebale, Oshobo. Saheed Adeboje now brings details.
Royal fathers, medical expert, and captain of industry were among notable dignitaries who graced the official commissioning of Oshobo Central Hospital, Okebale, Oshobo. Speaking on the occasion, Governor Ademola Adeleke appreciated the vision of the Chief Medical Director of the hospital, Dr. Ajayi, which he said will assist the government policy of ensuring qualitative health care services. Governor, who was represented by his deputy Prince Kola Adewusi, described Dr. Akin Ajayi as a good example of an average Nigerian youth who attained greatness with perseverance. According to him, medical facilities and services rendered at the hospital are attestation that good things are reverberating in Osun State.
Please let us come to Osun State and invest. Good business environment will be provided. There is one important thing again that I want us to take home, and that factor has to do with we use. Who says use cannot be useful? Who says we are not productive? Who says we cannot improve our society? Whoever that is sharing that notion, it is a bad one.
Earlier in his address, the Chief Medical Director of Oshobo Central Hospital, Dr. Akin Ajayi, who was flanked with his wife, Dr. Mrs. Adeola Ajayi, said that the hospital is accredited by Osun State Government, National Health Insurance Authority, and Osun Health Insurance Agency to provide qualitative health services. He explained that the hospital is committed to success and continuous development of humanity. According to him, Oshobo Central Hospital has become a one-stop shop medical institution with over 100 staff and state-of-the-art equipment, providing 24-hour services in the areas of family medicine, psychiatry, general surgery, digital x-ray, dental services, among others. There are goodwill messages from the Atauja of Oshobo, Obajimo Yetunji Olanipekun Laroye II, and the special advisor to Oyo State Governor on Youth Affairs, Honorable Kasim Bolaniwa. Program climaxed with official commissioning of the hospital and inspection of its facilities. From the office of the Deputy Governor, this is Saeed Adeboje reporting.
The newly regularized health workers in the State Primary Health Care Development Board has expressed their readiness to support the administration of Senator Ademola Adeleke by offering free medical checkup to the elderly, aged, and children. This is contained in a release made available to Nismin by the health board officials in Oshobo. The statement indicated that beneficiaries of the gesture include participants at tomorrow's Jumu'at prayers holding at late Senator Isiaka Adeleke Memorial Mosque Ede. It stated further that the program is designed to conduct free medical tests such as blood pressure, blood sugar, malaria parasite, distribution of free routine drugs, and educating the masses on the best ways of preventing the spread of some communicable diseases in the society. As precautionary measure against COVID-19 as well as other variants of the virus that may be imported into the country, Nigerians have been advised to make vaccination, which has been proven to give extra immunity. The Director of Public Health in Osun State, Dr. Akim Bello, gave this advice while speaking with Osbc News on the advent of COVID-19 variant, adding that the vaccine remains the most important intervention for preventing severe disease, hospitalization, and death, contrary to negative opinions flying around in the country about the vaccine. He speaks further. of the bulletin. Osho State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke is committed to take every necessary action that will stop illegal mining activities in the state. The Chairman, Committee on Mineral Resources, inaugurated by the Governor, Mr. Samuel Oyedotun, stated this during an assessment tour of some state government sites where illegal mining activities are ongoing. Saheed Adeboje now reports.
Miners in part of the state. The Chairman Committee on Mineral Resources, Mr. Samuel Oyedotun, told newsmen that the situation involving illegal mining is worrisome and inimical to the growth of Osun State. The committee was put in place by Governor Ademola Adeleke to address perceived sharp practices in the mining sector. As of the time the committee chairman and its members visited some of the mining sites, they impounded several equipment, including excavators and pumping machines. The affected illegal mining sites were also sealed.
We are enforcing the mandate that the governor has given us. If we find anybody on site that is not supposed to be there, or everybody should report to the Solid Minerals Office so that we can rewrite our contract or review whatever contract you may have.
Several leading personalities and stakeholders also criticized the level of illegal mining going on in some parts of Osun State.
What we noticed is that we have some people here mining illegally on the state license, which is not by permission. So we've been able to put a stop to some of this illegal mining, both the company miners and also the artisanal miners.
The committee raised by Governor Ademola Adeleke to address the concerns has called on those legal mining operators under the state right to step forward and contact it at the government secretariat along Bagaibadan Road. For Osbc News, this is Saeed Adeboje reporting.
Nigerian youth have been admonished to take charge of every opportunity as a result of hard work remains success at every point in time. Dr. Afis Oyetoro, popularly known as Saka, stated this at a public lecture themed Nigeria Green for Greatness, organized by Reboot High BC public lecture in Okelauron, Osun State. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga now reports.
Public lecture on public presentation of Reboot Magazine Volume 4, organized by Reboot Creative Hub, attracted dignitaries from far and near, scholars, professors, academia, and royal fathers, among others. In his lecture titled The Nigerian Creative Industry, the guest lecturer, Dr. Afis Oyetoro, said the Nigerian creative industry is bigger than the whole industry if necessary resources are harnessed into the creative industry. Dr. Oyetoro stated further that there are natural talented youth in Nigeria, but all they need to function well is a little bit of nurturing, which will put them on the right track. The guest lecturer who called on well-meaning individuals to help revitalize the creative industry and join government at all levels to help put resources into the creative industry, adding that the industry is in need of the government resources to function as appropriate.
We need to be more coordinated. We need to have a specific ministry called the Creative Industry Ministry, where all the activities of the industry will be monitored and transmitted, to all over the world. And then our educational thing. So a lot of us in the industry, we have the talent, but we do not realize that talent without knowledge is not really good. So once you identify your talent, you need education to make it work.
In his remarks, the host, Honorable of Okela, Oba Adedokun Abolarin, Aroyinkeye I, enjoined Nigerian youth to be patient in all their endeavor, noting that perseverance is the key to make impacts in nation building. The monarch who added that the youth are the leaders of tomorrow and join well-meaning individuals to do what is right at appropriate time so as to make Nigeria a better place for all.
They should not lose hope. Nation building is not a thing you get done overnight. It's a process. They should learn from the mistakes that our fathers, our grandfathers made, and the mistakes that we are making, and learn from it and build. It's not by running out of Nigeria that will give us a better country.
Also in his remarks, The Director General OSBC conglomerate, Mr. Rashid Folarami, reiterated the corporation's commitment towards the promotion of good development in the state and beyond. The Director General, who was represented by the Director News and Current Affairs Television, Mr. Akiola Wolabi, noted that OSBC is keen on the promotion of good governance and other formidable developmental projects in the state and beyond. The event saw the unveiling of the Robot Creative Hub magazine, which is dedicated to a legend in the creative industry, Tunde Kilani, and others who have added to the growth of the Nigerian creative industry. The event climaxed with cultural display by students of Abolari College, among others. Oluwa Tobiloba, Odunugal, OSBC News.
Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State has threatened to banish two monarchs in Akare Akoko headquarters of Akoko North-East local government area of the state over incessant communal crisis. Oba Adeleke Adegbite Adedonye II, the Owale of Ijobeta Kaikare, and the Olukare of Ikare, Oba Kadri Salu Momo, have been at loggerhead over the control of the town. 3 curfews have been imposed in the town of recent. Ondo State Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Mrs. Bamidele Odemola Olateju, who spoke to journalists after the State Executive Council meeting announced the decision of the governor to banish the two monarchs if another clash occurs. The commissioner said the state government has relaxed the 24-hour curfew imposed on the Kariakoko from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. She said the two others have been warned to comport themselves in line with the state government decisions, adding that anything to the contrary might lead to their banishment. Odlapeju said a 5-member committee has been set up to look into crises in Ikare and recommend resolution. We now go on a commercial break. The major report continues in a moment.
Yesterday I got a call from Globe. I won a 3-bedroom bungalow.
Yes, guys! Guess what? I won a car. I won a generator by participating in the Festival of Joy promo by Globe.
Hey, don't do this one for me. Because making set to me with sewing machine.
I won generator last year. This year I won for
It's a celebration like no other, with prizes like no other. 20 new houses to be won. 24 brand new cars. 200 sewing machines. 100 generators. 1,000 rechargeable fans. Glow Festival of Joy promo. Dial *611# now.
Is traveling to Manchester United to finalize his loan move from Burnley after ending his Bakista stay. The 30-year-old had been on loan at the Turkish club, but has decided to move to Old Trafford until the end of the season. Omotayo Adebono has details of these and more from the world of sports.
Manchester United have agreed a deal to sign Netherlands striker Wout Weghorst on loan for the rest of the season. The 30-year-old Burnley striker spent the first half of the season at Besiktas, but is now heading to Manchester United for a medical before the move can be completed. A deal has been reached for his loan at Turkish club to be terminated. Weghorst scored 8 goals and registered 4 assists in 16 league games for Besiktas. The move allows United manager Erik ten Hag to bring his fellow Dutchman to fill the vacancy he has for a striker in the squad. Providing there are no issues, Weghorst could be registered in time to be involved in Saturday's derby game against Manchester City at Old Trafford. Meanwhile, 4-time winners Nottingham Forest will face Manchester United in the Carabao Cup semi-finals, with Southampton's reward for beating Manchester City a 2-legged tie with Newcastle United. Then Henderson was the hero for Nottingham Forest as he saved 2 penalties in a shootout against Wolves to send his side through to the Carabao Cup semi-finals. The semi-finals first leg would be played in the week commencing January 23, with the second leg taking place in the week commencing January 30. The final takes place at Wembley on Sunday, February 26, 2023. In the meantime, four-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka has announced she is pregnant. The Japanese former world number one, who is 25 years, withdrew from the Australian Open early this week, having not played since September. Osaka won the last of her 4 Grand Slams at the Australian Open in 2021. She is the latest high-profile player to take a break from tennis due to her pregnancy. Germany's 3-time Grand Slam champion Angelika Kerber revealed her pregnancy in August, suggesting she would return after giving birth, while former world number 3 Elena Svitolina is expected to make a comeback this year after giving birth in October. Serena Williams took a break to give birth in 2017 and returned later the same year, continuing to play before retiring in 2022. It has been Omotayo Adebodun reporting for Osbc.
Moving now to Adebare Ejimakinde for foreign news.
Of West Africa's regional bloc has expressed support for jihadists hit Burkina Faso less than 5 months after insurgency occasioned by Islamist militants sparked a new coup. Guinea-Bissau President Umaru Sissoco Embalo, current president of the Economic Community of West African States, made a one-day visit to Ouagadougou for talks with junta leader Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Traoré 34 seized power on September 30th at the head of army officers, angered at failures to roll back a bloody jihadist campaign. In a statement issued after the talks, Traoré's office said Embalo was reassured by the steady transition for returning the country to civilian rule. Embalo also reaffirmed the willingness of the West African organization to support and accompany Burkina Faso in the fight against terrorism. ECOWAS, a 15-member organization which includes Burkina Faso, is struggling with a string of militant coups in its region and escalating jihadist insurgency in the Sahel. But it has been more supportive of Burkina Faso, one of the poorest and most volatile countries in the world, where 2 coups erupted last year. All 3 countries have been suspended from the bloc's decision-making bodies. Traoré in September ousted Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Sandogo Damiba, who had seized power. In Zimbabwe, new law threatens health workers with jail over strikes. The law signed recently imposes punishment of up to 6 months in jail for deviant workers or union leaders in Zimbabwe. The law banning health workers such as nurses and doctors from prolonged strike. The provision signed into law by President Emmerson Mnangagwa stipulates that health workers can strike for up to 3 days because they are considered an essential service. According to the law, health professionals should continue providing emergency services during a strike, but impose less severe punishments such as dismissals, work suspensions, or docking salaries. Frequent and weeks-long strikes by health workers have for years strained Zimbabwe's public health facilities, which are already in a poor condition due to dilapidated infrastructure and amazing shortages. The Southern African country, which once boasted some of the best public health care facilities and personnel in the region, is now struggling with a brain drain as nurses and doctors seek better opportunities elsewhere, mainly in the United Kingdom. Adebare Chimakide reporting.
That foreign report concludes tonight's major report, which was edited by Kayode Adebayo. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. Good night.
My name is Femi